12 new businesses, 12 months, one question. Did it make money? Welcome to the first weekly recap of Cash or Crash, which is my year-long journey, my year-long business experiment, where in 2026, I'm going to start one new business every month and document the entire journey publicly. Each month, I'm going to test a completely different type of business. Some are going to be boring, some are going to be weird, some are going to be way outside my comfort zone with one clear goal. Did it make money? Even $1 counts as a win. Now, I've put in some rules in place because I run a publishing company called Big Idea to Bestseller. I run a business, and so I had to put some rules in place. I get 1 month to build each business. I can spend up to 10 hours per week on each business, and I have a $1,000 budget that I can use to invest in the startup costs of the business each month. If I need to change any of those, I'll disclose them during the month, but these are the parameters that we've set. And so this month, the first month of this challenge, the business that we are building from scratch is a Facebook marketplace reselling business. Now, here's what's really, really cool about this. I have never really sold things on Facebook Marketplace. I'm familiar with it. I've looked at it a few times, but I haven't been on Facebook or used Facebook Marketplace in years. So this was going to be a really, really cool challenge. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through what the first week of this challenge actually looked like. And every week moving forward, I'm going to be giving you a weekly recap on what happened, how to go, my thoughts, what I expect. And then at the end of every month, I'm going to give you a final verdict on what to actually expect moving forward. So let's dig into this and let's talk about the first week of building a local Facebook marketplace reselling business. Now, before I get into a ton of stuff, there's really something that I found fascinating. Is that starting a reselling business like this, I didn't have to do all the traditional business setup. Why? Because I could just start with things from around my house. It's very easy to exchange things. And I didn't have to, get a logo, build the name of a company or any of those things. I could just get straight into it. And so that actually was a huge, huge, huge time saver and a huge help to actually get me started on this adventure. So here's what we got going on. Here's what I tried this week. I learned a lot. I'll be the first to say I learned a lot. And the good news, I think reselling business is awesome. There's a reason why it's so popular, the reason why people love it. And at the same time, it is incredibly overwhelming. So what did I do? How did I break it down? Let's get into it. So first things first is I needed to understand the marketplace and really what business I was in. And so I spent a little bit of time learning how to use Facebook Marketplace, the buying options, the selling options, figuring out if I want to be local, how far local. And so what I ultimately decided on is I live in Southern California and traffic can kind of be a nuisance sometimes. And so what I did is I basically set my parameter of 5 miles from my location. And the reason I did this is because when I looked at the money opportunity, I didn't want to be traveling 40 miles, which could be an hour and a half drive there and back to then flip something. And I identified this huge challenge right away is that if I buy something and I try to flip it for 5, 10, 15 bucks, but I got to drive 20, 30 minutes each way, the ROI is not going to be there. The return on my investment is not going to be there. And so I had to really identify, well, what's going to make it worth my time? And so as I was learning, I realized that setting the parameter of distance was really key. I also realized that I don't have a massive car. So anything that was super, super big, I was probably going to exclude from trying to flip into resell. And so I had to, as I was learning this, I tried to see what's popular? What's already selling? And I talked with ChatGPT a little bit about it. And ultimately, we decided on a week one niche. And this week one niche was to identify a few categories that could seemingly be popular for me to test and try with smaller, more local flips and to see if I can get a good deal and then to see what the response was from the actual customer base. So instead of me just trying to identify and watch these listings, I wanted to get my feet wet right away. And so there were 4 categories we kind of identified being January and being in Southern California where even in January, it's often fairly warm. And so the 4 categories we kind of identified as hey, let's focus on these were beach cruisers and bikes, baby stuff like strollers and things that are related to that, workout equipment, and then monitors and work from home type stuff, specifically the monitor angle of that. And this is where I started. And so week one, I started looking at these various different things. I was looking up keywords related to these things. And then I was also using keywords that were related to good deals. So moving out, everything must go, sale, free. And I was just trying to identify what's out there. What's the quality like? Now, here was the next thing that I realized is as I started doing this, I had no idea how to actually identify if this was a good deal or not a good deal. So what was really cool is I started to build out with ChatGPT a list of criteria. This is what I'm willing to drive. This is what I'd like to make on each flip. This is what this is. Do we think that this would be worth it? And so we built out this whole criteria. And so I'd be able to take a picture of the listing, put it into ChatGPT, and it would give me a ranking system on if it thought it was worth it or not. And this was really huge for me because I don't know what equipment of baby stuff. I don't have a baby yet. I don't know all the equipment of the best monitors for work from home environments. I don't know everything about dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, all the different things of workout equipment. I've used it all, but I've never sold it. And of course, bikes and beach cruisers. I barely know how to ride a bike. So I don't know a ton about that. And this comes into play because as I was learning about this, I started to learn more about these various things. And I started to say, okay, let's try this a little bit. Now, as I started doing this, I started to identify that for bikes, I really don't know what I'm talking about. And I have no idea if this is a good deal, a bad deal. I don't know what makes a bike great or not great. And so it became very challenging and I felt a point of resistance. With the baby stuff, I went and I bought this brand Up a Baby bassinet that we thought was a great deal. And that was one of the first purchases I made during this month using the budget. And it was great. But truth be told is, the baby stuff, I don't have a baby yet. And so when I was starting to try to sell this thing, I didn't have any passion towards it. I didn't have the energy towards it. And so I realized, maybe this isn't the right focus. Then I got a monitor. I picked up these 2 monitors. I was so hyped. I went out in the rain. I got these 2 monitors and I put them up for resale. And it was great, but these things are heavy. They take up a lot of space and the interest was so-so. But then there were the dumbbells. And I had just a pair of 20-pound dumbbells lying around the house and I had a kettlebell. I go to a gym, so I don't need my at-home equipment anymore. And so I threw these up. And the interest skyrocketed. It was clear that this was the number one things, and I was excited about it. I like working out. I like being fit. And so I was like, okay, this might be the right avenue for me. So I learned a lot just from doing this. Let me go one step further here. Not only did I go based off what feels good, what I'm excited about, and what could be a good deal, but I also thought January. What does everybody in January want to do? They want to get fit. They want to work out more. Well, a lot of people don't have gym memberships or the gyms are too crowded, so they want to work out at home or they're trying to set these New Year's resolutions. And I was like, boom, dumbbells, kettlebells, at-home workout equipment. That could be a great sale. Plus, I was most excited about that one. And so by the end of week one, I really decided that we're going to focus in a little bit more on gym equipment. And that's kind of going to be the core focus. So let's break it down. All right, let's continue to break this thing down. What I've realized by doing this, though, is buying something on Facebook Marketplace and then selling that same item on Facebook Marketplace just a little bit later for a higher price that is worth it, especially when it's not upselling them for $100, $200, $500, but you're buying these 1 or 2 off items and then reselling them. It's very challenging to do it platform to platform. And so what I learned was that you want to try to find either really great deals that fit your criteria, or what you want to do is try to find other places where you could buy in discount or at bulk. So this is why a lot of people love garage sales. This is why a lot of people go to auctions. And so what I found out through talking with my dad actually is that there was this auction site and they happen to have a live auction in my hometown. This is crazy. It's like it was meant to be for this challenge. And one of the things that is super popular at this auction is workout equipment. And so I found this out at the end of week one. And so as I move forward into week two, we're going to bid on this and then we're going to try to see if we can get a great deal. And then we're going to be able to see if we could buy things in bulk, get a great deal, and then flip them and resell them. And I think that if we do this properly, this is going to be a great way to have more inventory, but also to have inventory that has interest. And I think that that's really what excites me about moving forward. So the other thing here is let's talk about the money. But before we do, I want to share one more cool thing. As I was going through all this, I remembered that I had a friend who had sold some gym equipment. So I reached out to him and we chatted, and he was like, dude, let me tell you everything. He had done this incredible reselling business with gym equipment during the pandemic. And he gave me all the ins and the outs of it, gave me some incredible pointers. And what was really cool is, and I didn't know this, but there's like a average price per pound that people pay for weights. And there's an average price per pound that you can maybe get a deal on. And there's an average price per pound you might want to sell based on your location. And so what was really cool for me is this kind of gave me the parameters of, oh, if I can get something here at this price, I can likely resell it for this price. And it was much easier to calculate versus just guessing if it was going to be a good flip or not. So that was really, really huge. So let's talk about the week one money, and then let's talk about where we're going for moving forward. So here's the week one money. The expenses were a whopping $80. I bought 2 items. I bought this baby bassinet for the stroller, and I bought this these 2 Lenovo monitors. Now, both of those are up for sale right now. We've gotten some interest, but I haven't wanted to lower the price just yet because I still believe that this could sell. In terms of our revenue, $0. Week one is a $0. It is a net negative month, but that's okay. Why? Because I have expected revenue coming in from these listings. Now, does that mean they're all going to sell? No. But from the listings, I am expecting to make about $200 to $300 from the items I've purchased, as well as a few items from my home that I decided to put up for sale to get some more research and to see how it all works. So this week we're net negative $80, but I do expect us to start monetizing as we continue to improve our knowledge, as we continue to see what works and what doesn't work, and as we move forward. So what's on the upcoming agenda for the next week is we're going to be looking at doing this auction and trying to bid and get some things in bulk at a low price and see if we could flip those. So auctions to then Facebook. We're going to look and see and continue to monitor the platforms. We're going to try to sell our existing products, and we're just going to try to identify and continue to learn what sells well, what doesn't, and what are those criteria based on the industry or the product. Right now, the focus is on gym equipment, dumbbells, barbells, etc. So if you're watching this and you have any of those that you want to sell, let's talk. Otherwise, this is week one. This is the update. Cash or crash. See you for next week.